So I was raised in religion, and I know not everyone was, but it wasn't anything hardcore or heavy duty. It was sort of like Christianity light. And I remember as a really young kid when my parents first started taking me to church, thinking, this is weird or it doesn't make a lot of sense. But most importantly, I remember having this thought: this feels unnecessary. This feels like we're adding something to reality. It feels like these adults are all getting together and doing something that's basically superfluous. But I think, like what happens to a lot of kids, you kind of put that aside because you have to go along to get along. Now, if I've been able to somehow withstand the pressure of the adult world and not choose attachment over authenticity and trust myself, then I wouldn't have had to relearn in my 30s that we believe things in order to stay safe and get love. It's actually a dictate of our emotional repression. And sure enough, it's unnecessary. Here's why. The thing that we're trying to stay safe from, even though we think it's external, is inside of us. It's buried emotions like anger, hurt, sadness, even joy. Anything that we push down into the body as kids in order to seemingly stay safe and get love from the people around us. Now, these buried emotions in the body cause a huge amount of suffering, and we don't like that. So here's where it gets tricky. As adults, we'll try to solve the problem of suffering by believing things again. And it doesn't have to be religious beliefs. It could be the belief that I'm not good enough. It could be the belief that I'm unsafe, that the world is unsafe. It could be the belief that nobody likes me. It could be the belief that I'm an addict, or that I'm a bad person or a good person, or that I have to meditate or regulate my nervous system. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter the content of the beliefs. It's their function that's important. And that function is to keep us away from the buried emotions in the body that drive our suffering. And this unconscious mechanism in the body will fight to the death to stay in place. This is why it's a human tendency to defend our suffering, or to argue for our own limitations, because it's safer. It's safer to believe things and suffer than it is to feel and express the buried emotions that are in our bodies. But fortunately, there are tools available now that can reverse the process of emotional repression, clear the body of the stored buried emotions that drive our suffering, and bring us back to that little kid realization that believing anything is unnecessary. Find out more at repressiontest.com.